Episode 2. What should we talk about?
A title that's better than The Waitress. That's the shittest podcast episode title I've ever heard. Although that was the title in my notebook. But I knew, I knew what I meant.
Some people that do podcasts, they actually have structure. They're like 3 acts in half an hour.
I've
they
seen
10, 10, 10. And we're going to act 2 now. And
do you watch any on YouTube?
No.
So I watched the.
What is a pod? No, I'm joking.
I watched the Stick to Football one.
Right.
You're not a football fan, are you?
No.
No. So I won't go into the detail. You won't know who the people are, but they have makeup and everything.
What?
Yeah.
To do the podcast?
Yeah. Paul, where's our makeup artist?
Well, you've got some paint and stuff in the college.
Yeah, like honestly, and they film all of that.
Really?
Like as part of the episode. They got some like lovely lady that comes around with her palette and they're touching up Roy Keane's forehead.
The right word.
I don't know. and Gary Neville's eyebrows and whatever. And they go around and then Ian Wright comes on and they get a different shade for Ian. And it's like,
what the hell?
That's what you call high level.
We're not high.
Whereas
there's nothing high level.
We
about
have
us.
to make sure that we've cleaned our own teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to make sure I've done my hair. You don't. We have to maybe.
That's not true, actually. I have to shave the old head, otherwise I get this sort of Mohican bit in the middle if it grows too long.
Have you never thought of just leaving
dumb.
that?
No, because it looks dumb. I end up looking like, what's that guy? Sideshow Bob. Not
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah. So
episode 2 is going to be what?
it could be the
society we are creating for.
The society we're
kind of
creating.
touched on that a little bit, where we're going to have a different angle.
Well, we've got a different angle in that you've got someone going to uni.
True.
And
You've got young
I've
kids.
got young kids.
Yeah. Okay.
So we could kind of just spitball around those. I mean, I can intro this, not intro it, but I can keep going with this.
Welcome to episode 2. It's the second part of The Waitress. I'm joking.
Mate, no one watched the first part. The second part is brilliant. It's not about a waitress at all. And to be honest, even the first one wasn't about a waitress because Mark kept forgetting what he wanted to say about the waitress.
Yeah.
Kept going off on a tangent.
Yeah.
Standard ADHD.
I think that's probably going to be standard for this podcast, actually. I wonder if people will stay with us through that.
Yeah, I wonder what the average watch time will be.
Maybe we're just going to attract a bunch of quite old, undiagnosed, neurodiverse people.
Mate, there's a lot of them.
This is the best thing I've ever heard in my life.
There's a lot of those.
There we go.
There's millions.
I mean, it's a niche audience.
What with the NHS waiting times?
Yeah,
that list of undiagnosed neurodivergence.
Mate, I mean, there'd be a lot of brains that'd be listening to this going, oh my God, I'm with you every word.
Yeah.
I doubt it, but...
We've got to think positive.
Yeah, let's do.
You got to think positive.
You do the intro, though.
Society. What society are we creating for the next generations, the younger generations? Obviously, I am considerably younger than Mark. But for the purposes of this podcast, we're kind of going to bracket ourselves in the same 20-year ballpark. My children are a lot younger, 13 and 9. And that, if any of you are listening or watching as parents of young kids, you'll know that it's a tricky age. Neurodiverse or not, it's a tricky age. Mark, your kids are obviously a lot older and grown up and got their own businesses and very successful and all the rest of it, hence your age. But your partner's son is off to uni.
Yes.
A tricky time. What is he, 18?
19 very soon. Yeah.
And we thought something that we've discussed many, many times is about society and about the society we are creating for them, and what, particularly for the people coming out of uni, the grads coming out of uni, what world are we creating for them, and what are they going to be walking into? And the fact that they don't know any different, they only know this one world. What are the jobs?
That's the thing, isn't it? And I think, so I must introduce this episode. It's not called The Waitress, but I must introduce this. This episode is called George.
Brilliant.
That's searchable.
That's
really
SEO friendly,
friendly, isn't it?
Everyone is searching that. Everyone's searching that.
I want to see a podcast called George. This is it. So welcome. We live in Brighton, so I'm getting giddy now. Anyway, he lives in Brighton. We live in Brighton, and when George was looking for universities, we thought, Sussex, autistic, just recently diagnosed autistic. And so we thought Sussex, Portsmouth, that was quite a way away, and maybe Bristol. No, he picked Aberdeen. So 600, I mean, he couldn't get further away from us if he tried.
Do you take that personally?
Yes. Couldn't get further away from us. No, I mean, again, the autistic mind is great, isn't it? Because in his brain, that is the course that I want to do. No one else does that course in the same way as they do in that university. Therefore, I go to that university. It was a really simple, logical choice for him. I think the realization that it is 600 miles away and that makes a difference now he's there is starting to kick in a little bit. But he's made his bed almost. I have offered him the choice and said, you can, if you're really not happy, you can come home and do Sussex and blah, 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 but he's staying. But yeah, I think the thing for me is that where I do worry, because of where we are in the AI world, and we're starting in this world, really. We're certainly not at peak level, dependent upon whether you think that AGI will ever be achieved or not. Beside the point, I still think we're quite early on in the whole world of AI. And so the next 4 or 5 years, he's intending already to do his master's and, blah, 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 blah. So he's talking about an education that is going to be 4 or 5 years from now. The world is going to look very, very different. The world of work is going to look very, very different in 4 or 5 years' time if we carry on going at the speed that we're going at the moment. And typically, governments, education, anything public sector, it moves at snail's pace. And so my concern, and I've not really researched this massively, but my concern is is the education system and our university system and structure set up to be able to really educate people for the world that they're going to come out with? Answer, in my book, emphatic no, because universities are still all about give me the £9,000-10,000 a year that we have to now charge you, and that's how they fund themselves. Blah 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 blah. As in my son Jack's case. They throw you out at the end of university, and then you get that follow-up call that basically is really rushed that says, have you managed to find full-time employment? Yes. Oh, thanks very much. Bye-bye. And you're a stat on a piece of paper saying 98% of our students found work. Yeah, as a bloody waitress. Episode 2 of The Waitress, as a wait, but they don't
wait
care.
to the artwork for this.
They don't care what that job is. They just care that you're in full-time employment, so they can use it as a stat. So they're not geared towards really educating our kids for the world of work that I think inevitably they're going to come out with. I think that's a challenge in any case because we don't know what that world is going to look like anyway. But I think where a lot of our education establishments are dealing with now is things like plagiarism, things like use of AI in bad ways to do our essays and all this sort of stuff. Whereas actually there should be elements of their education that is now preparing them for that world where AI is going to be a big part of it.
Do you think it's moving quicker now? So, for instance, if you'd have gone into university 20 years ago and come out 3 years later, yes, the world would have moved on, but the job opportunities when you went in would have still been kind of there when you went out because you were training for that. Whereas now, you go to uni for 3 or 4 years, is there a sense that we honestly don't know what the hell is going to be there?
Well, you look at things like, but trying to get into the career, and maybe the career itself is still there in 4 or 5 years. So let's take, for example, accountancy or law. So, two things that AI can literally walk all over. Accountancy is incredibly logical, incredibly pattern-orientated work. You've got the 2 sides of the spreadsheet, blah, 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 blah. This is stuff that AI can do with no problems whatsoever. Therefore, the role of a junior accountant coming in, trying to find their first rung on the ladder and getting into that industry, that will have gone, because AI will be doing all that stuff. You may well have now a partner in a business who is there to guide and support business owners in terms of direction of their strategy for their business moving forwards from a financial point of view. But you're not going to be that person when you come out of uni. Therefore, trying to get into the industry itself is closed off. I think that gives us problems in the future, because where are all the senior partners, the real human advisors? If they're not going to cut their teeth on the early work, how are we going to create these, big senior people in the future? I think that is a struggle. So they become, they've got to earn money. So they become a waiter or a waitress. Welcome to episode 3.
But I guess at that point then, do you feel like, because we're not creating those opportunities, or perhaps those opportunities won't be there, do you think there needs to be more intervention at the point where students are deciding what to do? And I could go down a whole rabbit hole about the junior schools, secondary schools, how outdated the system is, what they're educating on, that they're not preparing our kids to be resilient in the modern world. But do you think there needs to be more intervention at that early stage when people are choosing what to go and do at university, where we have those conversations with those people and say, okay, you want to do that, that's great. Have we considered what the opportunities might be when you come out, based on the world we're living in right now?
And that's the thing, isn't it? Because, you look, I bet you can still get into university this year to study graphic design. Of what value is that going to be to anybody in 3 years' time? I mean, I know from the conversation that we had in the car, your experience of trying to get AI to create an image for you was painful. But, we were talking when we were at my house about just the massive advances in text to video is crazy. Now is crazy. Now, I'm starting to get to the stage with that kind of technology to struggle to really see if that's AI or not. I can still just about, but my God, you put another 6 months on that and I won't be able to tell the difference between what is AI generated and what is actually a human being talking to me. Graphic design, gone. Accountancy, basic accountancy, gone. Paralegals, gone. Yes. We've got to kind of be thinking 5 years' time and thinking, for our kids' sake, thinking, okay, what do I think the world of work is going to look like, and what can I do now to prepare them in terms of the education that we give them, so that they've at least got a fighting chance. I haven't got a crystal ball. I don't know what 5 years' time is going to look like, but my God, I need to have a good go at that to try and support them and help them through.
Let me come back to your graphic design thing, because I agree with you. I mean, one of my closest friends has just been made redundant recently in the last few months from a big company in London. Whether they lost a big client or they just streamlined because of AI or whatever, he was a retouch. His job title sounds naughty.
Retoucher.
A retoucher.
Yeah.
He was a head retoucher.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever I read that on LinkedIn, I was like, mate, they could have come up with a better name than that. But anyway.
Let me get my crayons out.
There we go. He was recently made redundant.
That's doing a disservice to anyone who's called a retoucher. I apologise.
Yeah, he's awesome at what he does. And they were working with big brands, Adidas, and he was retouching Lionel. Do you know who Messi is?
Yes.
Oh, at least you know Messi. He's only the most famous footballer in the world. So you don't know him, you've literally lived in a cave.
Yeah.
But he was like retouching his face and stuff like that. Great job. He loved it. Done it all his life. Been made redundant. Gone freelance. But
as a retoucher,
I don't know. But
that's a tough research. That's a tough gig as a freelancer, isn't it?
But my question is, I guess, where we're not, say for instance, you'd pick up the phone or email a company about doing some graphic design. You'd have a person at the top and you'd have 5, 6, 7, 10, 50 different people within that organisation working on different projects.
Yeah.
Now, you've got the main point of contact. As we know from our time on LinkedIn, that person creates the emotional connection with the audience. So therefore, if someone needs some work done, they go to that person. But that person all of a sudden doesn't have 20, 30, 40, 50 minions. They might have 1 or 2 and a massive bank of tech.
Exactly.
So getting into these industries, yes, you still need the person to contact.
Yep.
You still, and it can't be an AI person, because when you're marketing that type of business, as we know, you need to create that emotional connection with the audience through the activity you do, the videos, whatever. But what happens beyond that conversation, that's where it's all changed. Yeah. That's where the manual part has gone. So then people coming out of uni with that in mind, they're not going to all of a sudden be the number one.
No.
unless they start their own business from scratch, which, as we know, is extremely hard.
Of course, it's incredibly hard.
So I guess that's where I look and go, where will the jobs be?
Yeah, and let's stay on the positive side of that. And I'm not sure whether I believe it fundamentally or not. This attitude that we'll retrain and new jobs will be created. I'm sure some will, but I still don't think there's going to be the same quantity of jobs created as those being displaced. No. I think there's going to be a divide there in terms of the jobs that are available. But I literally hadn't thought about this until we were talking about it today. Is that how do you get to that senior position if you can't start as a junior? Which gives us a massive problem for the future, because if there is going to be a level of human leadership and critical thinkers and blah 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 blah, these people that have got all this tech behind them, they're going to be a dying breed because we're not generating them from the start anymore because you can't get on the rung of the ladder. So okay, from a cost point of view in a business, I can have 25 AI agents running grunt work for me. That's brilliant. But I'm not generating the future human potential that's going to take over from me when I retire. And so where do we go then?
What you end up with is what you've got so much of now is people saying they can do certain things, but they can't.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the experience to work. I mean, you think of, I spent 26 years in employment before I went self-employed. Those 26 years, I would never, ever, ever have started my company.
No.
Without those 26
exactly right.
years.
Yeah.
So,
and we're forcing people to do that now
because
there are no jobs available.
So
you come out of university with a first in accountancy or law or whatever you are, you can't get a job. What do? You freelance, you open your own thing. You learn going back to your argument about resilience, my God, it's going to teach you some of that.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to come out of university, my son Jack did exactly the same thing. Came out of university, didn't do because he studied graphic design, didn't want to do that, wanted to work in video, knew he wasn't going to get a job in video because he'd never picked up a video camera in his life. Start your own business, mate. Yeah. Okay, I will, Dad. Yeah, thank you. The first 2, 3, 4 years of that were a bloody hard slog because he had to learn not only the bit about how to make a good video, but also how to market your company, how to do accounts, how to sell, how to all those other things. He had to build up that resilience and that knowledge. He's done that now, but my God, it was hard work.
Which is fine if you've got. I'm not saying Jack had the luxury of just pouncing off you all the time.
Well, he did. He lived at home, so he had no outgoings.
How many people don't have that luxury?
Exactly.
They come out and they have to earn.
Yeah.
They've worked in bars and restaurants or whatever through their uni. They've funded themselves, again, building that resilience, which is brilliant. But they've gone to uni for a reason, for a purpose, to actually build a career.
Yeah.
And if they can't get the career they want, and then they end up down the road of, as so many people are now, this whole entrepreneurial buzz, I'll just start because apparently it's easy.
Yeah. Of course it is.
Go on
really
LinkedIn
easy.
or go on YouTube and I'll get loads of likes and followers.
Get ChatGPT to write a few posts and I'll be a millionaire, Rodney.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that scares me because not only will it fail for most of them, but then as a buyer, as a company or a consumer looking to buy these services, you're just inundated with choice. And what do you believe?
Yeah.
Because you've got a selection of people that haven't really got the knowledge and experience. And again, it comes back to having the time and experience to create that emotional connection built on trust.
Yeah.
If you think of all the service providers you used over the years, whether it was working in Red Sprout, whether it's now, all the service providers you've used for different jobs, what was the main reason you used them?
Because you like the person.
The hook.
Exactly.
You'd built that bond with them over a period of time. That isn't going to be there.
No, it's not. It's going to be incredibly difficult. I had a really good subject to then talk about on that. It was in my head.
Have you forgotten it?
Yeah, it's gone.
Brilliant.
It's completely gone.
That's good. So winding it back
What's the subject of this? Oh, society. Yeah,
no, it's the waitress.
Oh, is it? Are we still
It's the waitress part 2. Or are we on 3 now?
Oh, I know what I was going to say.
Brilliant.
See, it's now sparked. And the question for me, especially when you think about George, who's already thinking he's going to be there for 5 years, 5 times 10 grand is 50 grand's worth of debt
Shut up. Is that what it is now?
It's 10 grand a year to go to university.
What?
That's the student fees. Never mind the stuff that you're going to have to pay to rent your halls or rent the flat or pay the gas and blah, blah, blah,
Never mind the
blah.
£10 a pint.
It's just mad. It's 9,000 whatever, 9,800. No, I can't remember what the numbers are. But anyway, it's about 10 grand a year to go to university. So you're going to walk out as highly educated.
You hope.
And unless you've done a lot of that during the 5 years. But anyway, George won't. He'll be highly educated, and walking out with £50,000 worth of debt. Thank Christ they can't take that debt off you until you're earning a certain amount of money, because the chances of actually getting a job are gonna be really, really tough. So then the big question is, what the hell is the point in going to university in the first place? Because knowledge is no longer an asset. I can find out anything I want to by literally asking a question, and I've got all the knowledge in the world.
So what's the asset?
So this is where I'm 100%. Our universities should be really teaching our kids those skills that salesperson that you talked about.
Yeah.
Those are going to be the critical human skills that people will need to get on in the world.
But they are in less supply than ever.
Yeah.
I'll go back to when I was first in work, 16, thrown into a retail environment. There's a pad, there's a pen, there's your T-shirt, off you go. 1996, Comet, Christmas.
I was Curry's.
Right. Oh, were you?
Yeah.
So,
I know.
I wish I'd known that.
We were enemies, weren't we?
Wish I'd known that.
I know. I can sell a 1,200 spin washing machine.
There was... with a 7 kilo load.
Whoa.
I didn't have 7 kilo loads back then.
No, they didn't.
Back then, you're lucky if you had 5.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Didn't have flat screen TVs.
16. No, CRT TV. I remember one that had a mahogany back. It like a big mahogany case.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was only like a 25-inch
The problem
screen.
is in the store I worked in, they had 3 shelves of the TVs.
Yeah.
And so some poor bugger had to literally lift these damn things onto the top shelf.
Yeah. They were heavy as well.
They were bloody heavy.
They were heavy, especially if the shelves weren't put on properly.
Exactly, and the whole thing collapsed. That actually happened.
So anyway, 96.
What were we talking about?
Me.
Oh, you retail, yeah.
Me retail, 96. Get out there, pre-com boom, pre-internet. Well, not pre-internet, but pre-kind of internet, pre-wide, mainstream internet. Yeah. The shops were mental busy, and I was quite a shy person pre-working at Comet. That soon changed because it was that or you lose your job. Yeah. And I built massive amounts of resilience in that job. I went into that job and it taught me so much about sales, about how to communicate with people, about how to look people in the eye when you're trying to sell to them, about how to understand them rather than just ramming stuff down their throat.
Yeah.
All of those early experiences have helped me create a business, build trust with other people, etc., etc. Those jobs now are so rare. Yeah. So rare because retail's on its arse anyway.
Exactly.
People aren't recruiting.
AO.com.
Yeah. AO.com, Amazon. Yeah. But again, where does that... Maybe I sound like an old man.
I mean, you are going back to the old days with the greatest, but
yeah, I know.
But no, but I think, and it's true though. In that respect, it is true. Those skills that you learn, those fundamental human skills, the ability to communicate, the ability to read people, to understand what they weren't saying, and to find out, they're not quite with me. I need to do something to bring that person back in. I'm losing that interest. All of those are skills that we are not teaching our kids anymore. And they are vital human skills.
Hold on. Did we ever teach our kids those in schools?
I don't know, but I think they were but I think they did. It happened naturally, didn't it?
Because they didn't have anything else.
If you're in the playground, I mean, if you're in the playground and you're going to piss off Jeremy over there, Jeremy's going to come and thump you. So you'd very quickly learn how not to piss off Jeremy. And so, and that's a human skill, isn't it? It's understanding Jeremy's in a bad mood. Sorry to anyone who's called Jeremy. But
you could have said Kyle.
Kyle. Yeah, but see, I'm
Kyle, really modern name.
I probably had a Jeremy at school.
You would have done.
Yeah. So... but you learn those skills, don't you, on how to make sure that Jeremy doesn't get pissed off and hit you. Yeah. And the same way as when you're in Comment or Curry's, you learn. I mean, even the nuances are crazy, aren't they, when you think about it? Because I'm just thinking back to my days in Curry's, And it was even to the point is you would watch them as soon as they walked through the door.
Yeah.
And you think, no, not yet. No. Where are they going? Oh, they're just wandering over to microwaves. Okay, shit. Not really big sale, but hey,
no TV.
There's no one else in the shop, so, you know. But all these things are just going through your head. Oh, they've stayed on that one for a little while. Now's the time to go. Hi, how are you? And so you're in. But all of that is your brain thinking about where this customer is. You're putting yourself in their shoes, learning what they're thinking. And all of that is by that's body language. That's just... Those are crazy skills when you think about it. Crazy, crazy skills. And you learnt them because you were on the sales floor in Currys and Comet thinking, I need to get some sales because then I'll get a bit of commission. So that just breaking that one scenario down is full of human nuance, you know, unspoken communication, all of that stuff that is absolutely vital.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it, when you think about that? And that is me saying the old days were better.
Well, I'm still stuck in my own head now that you said I was going down the rabbit hole of the old days were better. But I find it hard to not.
I know, exactly.
And it isn't that because I use AI.
Yeah.
I use AI most days.
Yeah.
My car. Did you see the post I did about the Mercedes AI? About sending the WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, it's mad.
But I still wanted to text that person. I still created the message. I still told Mercedes to hit send. Yeah. But Mercedes gave me the convenience, human and tech in perfect harmony.
In my mind, there's still I know I'm going to be saying that the old days were better, but they bloody well were in many instances. You know, just going into, I'm never going and do the big shop, but if you're going into the supermarket to buy something that you've forgotten to put on the list of the big shop for the van to deliver to you, you now get the opportunity to self-scan. And I bloody hate it. Because almost inevitably, even if I'm buying a box of fruit and fibre, I know damn well that machine's going to go, we need assistance. He needs assistance. And there's a little red light's going to come on saying, I've not put it in the bagging area.
It doesn't like you, does it?
They hate me. Honestly, those things hate me. Or I can't find the damn barcode and scan it and blah, blah, blah. It's going to go wrong. And so what happens? A bloody human being comes up and goes, they don't say hello. They just go with their little code. They actually make that sound when they do it because they're pissed off with you because they were just standing over there chatting to Jeremy about what they were doing at the weekend.
Who was at your school?
Yeah, exactly. And because he can't get a job now, poor bloke. He trains in accountancy as well. Yeah. Now he's working Tesco self-scan. Anyway, sorry, Jeremy. I know.
Do you know, a Tesco driving job's really hard to get?
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? I'm actually not surprised.
I'd nowhere else to go with that.
I'm genuinely not surprised. I think it's going to get increased. I've been down the rabbit hole on YouTube of watching a guy called Geoffrey Hinton, who is the godfather of AI. I mean, he's older than I am, but he's been in it for his entire life, this guy. I think, you know, whether he's trying to sell a book or not, I don't know, but he now says that he starts to regret some of the decisions that he's made. I'm literally going to go down a rabbit hole here and forget what I was going to say. Anyway, he said, bringing myself back before I forget, that the job of the future for all of our kids is to train us to be a plumber because AI can't do that yet. It will in the future when Elon gets all his robots walking around and, you know, they can kneel under a tap for 3 hours and trying to undo the screw and pull the bloody wire, you know. I mean, when they can, hallelujah, because I don't want to do that job anymore. But at the moment, you still need a human being to do that job as a plumber. And that's got quite a long shelf life on it because it's going to be no time soon before a robot can do that. So I don't know where I'm going with this either, but...
It gives me an idea for another topic, though. Something that
another episode?
Yeah, another episode. Yeah. Another episode. The Waitress Part 3.
Right? I was going to say it.
So, and I haven't got a clue how long we've been going, Paul. But, and this kind of...
we can ramble.
Do you know what? Do you know what? And this will nicely bring this one to a close because
thank God for that.
At some point in the future, I want to talk about... Do you remember the Hollywood strike?
Yes, the writers.
The writers and if I'm right, the basis around that was... There was this suggestion that they wanted to basically get the actors in for the first week, do a few scenes, and then jog them on, pay them less, and use AI to make the rest of the movie. Oh my God, ridiculous. Yeah. Then, if I knew a movie, maybe we won't know, but if I thought Mission Impossible wasn't
to be
Tom
honest, that could have been
Cruise.
written by AI.
No, but acted by AI. If I thought that movie
Yeah.
wasn't him
Yeah.
from start to finish, and that he was only in the first 10 minutes, and the rest of it was, I wouldn't go and watch it.
But then, we're going to go over time probably on our half an hour slot here. But the thing is, though, that's the advance and progression, isn't it? Because before we'd have said, if that's not the real scene, I won't watch the movie. It's CGI. And we were all up in arms over CGI, but we've come to accept CGI as just standard practice.
But it's
now.
still the actor in front of a green screen.
It is, but we did object to it at the time, I remember, because it was like, oh, it's just, even when, going back to your friend, the retoucher, everyone was up in arms. I mean, it's not a real photo. They've photoshopped it. I remember us all saying they've photoshopped it, but we accept that as normal now. So there is this inevitable acceptance of this technology as it becomes more and more ingrained in society.
Do you know what, though? I still think the human bit, though, because, for instance, all of those actors and waitresses, they all present themselves online now on social media, so you can get closer to them.
Yeah.
So you can get more involved in their lives.
Morgan Freeman can still send you a Zoom call and scam you out of £3 million.
True.
So they can make these people into AI really, really easily, can't they?
That's why I say maybe we'd never know. If they just kept it quiet, although the movie stars wouldn't.
I think
keep
the
it
difference
quiet,
is,
would
just
they?
to finish off this episode, the thing is, before, when new technology came along, the human being was in control of the technology.
Yeah.
I think the difference this time is that we're seeing the creep of what's the tail wagging the dog. And I think as AI advances, and if we ever get to AGI, then it's not the human being in control anymore. It's the AI. That was the end of episode 74, The Waitress Revisited. The next edition is going to be something else.
The waitress in a new role.
What's she going to become?
She's 85 now. It's taken her 65 years to get her dream job,
What is she?
but she nailed it.
Oh, is that the
She's
reveal?
the
is
bar
on
manager now.
Oh, we thought you were going to give the reveals on the next episode. It's like a hook. Listen up for what the waitress becomes in the
Well, we
next
could cut
episode.
it there.
Yeah. Now,